Urgent update, EIDL ended, and there is no more stimulus available for small businesses. Not true. If you're a small business owner and you believe that there is no more stimulus funding available for your small business, I'm here to tell you that that is not true. Yes, EIDL has ended. And yes, PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, has also ended. But I'm here to tell you about a stimulus program that could potentially pay you more than the $10,000 EIDL grant without all of those restrictions, and more than the PPP $20,000 loan that becomes a grant after you ask for forgiveness. This is a government-funded stimulus that came with the CARES Act that no one else is talking about. It's one of the greatest failed public service announcements that I've ever seen. In fact, if you were to ask your accountant today if you qualify for this program that I'm about to talk about, 9 out of 10 of them will tell you that they either do not provide service for that particular program or that you simply do not qualify, and that is not true. In fact, I found a service that has discovered over $1 billion from an unlimited fund that is available right now to be claimed in 2022 that accountants are skipping right over. Yeah, remember EIDL had that big fund and it was capped at a certain value, and PPP also had a big fund and that was capped at a certain value. Well, this particular program does not have a cap on it, and you could leverage these funds starting today. Do I have your attention? If you guys like this content, remember to become a subscriber, hit the like button, and hit that bell notification to be notified of upcoming and future videos. Bilder is back. This is the channel that provides you an all-access pass to everything capital, cash flow, and credit by ensuring you have the right financial literacies for business success. Stop saying you're in a side hustle and start saying I'm open for business. Let's dive in. Okay, small business owners, I hope I have your attention here because I'm about to show you where you can access more stimulus funds that most small businesses, nearly all small businesses, have simply overlooked. It is the least talked about stimulus money that's out there. Everybody talks about the Paycheck Protection Program, EIDL, and you can simply be skipping right past a major opportunity to send funds directly into your bank account. This is not a loan. You don't have to pay this fund back. It's not like you have to ask for forgiveness. This money is deposited directly into your bank account after you qualify through a very simple qualification process. And even better yet, there's a company I'm about to introduce to you that will manage the entire process for you. I've trusted them with my business, my clients, my students, and businesses that are in my small business network because they have developed an algorithm to maximize the amount of funds that you qualify for your small business. Take it from me, everybody. I'm Edward Bilder, millionaire, real estate investor, entrepreneur, educator, coach, engineer, and father of 4, and I have spent the past 2 years making it my mission to teach members of this channel and my courses how to access the PPP program and the EIDL program. In fact, I produced over 300 videos, becoming one of the most trusted sources on YouTube, discovering SBA glitches and providing workarounds for nearly 3 million viewers who watched my channel in 2021 and gained access to their funds. And now I feel it's my duty to continue to serve you all and ensure that you do not miss out on this massive stimulus opportunity that you can still access today called ERC, Employee Retention Credit. Now, before you click away to another video that's suggested on the side because you may think you do not qualify for ERC, I urge you to listen through the entire video because I'm about to show you how you could possibly still qualify for ERC, and you could be potentially missing out on tens of thousands of dollars of opportunity of stimulus funds that you can use for your small business by simply clicking something that's over there, all right? So in this video, I'll explain to you briefly what ERC is, how to qualify, and then I'll show you a no-hassle method to access all of these funds. Now, what exactly is ERC? Employee Retention Credit. This is a program that pays a business a thank you for having employees between the dates of January 1st of 2020 all the way through September 30th of 2021. This thank you, air quotes, was designed for businesses who kept employees on the payroll during pandemic. Now, let's address one major ambiguity from all of the accountants out there. Most accountants believe that if you received PPP, that you do not qualify for ERC. This is not true. You simply deduct the weeks that were covered by the PPP. And since PPP was capped at $20,000 and ERC is capped at $26,000, you can see there's already a difference between those two values that you could be potentially missing out on by receiving this additional stimulus fund. Now, how big is the actual potential for ERC? Because you can actually receive up to $26,000 per employee, up to 500 employees paid retroactively, that's a $13 million stimulus check if you have 500 employees. Now, don't be sad if you don't have 500 employees, because right now the average credit is totaling over $200,000 in a stimulus check that is paid and deposited directly to most small businesses out there. There are no further questions asked, and this is never asked to be paid back in return. So you can see it adds up very quickly. Now you have to be wondering, if this was such a big stimulus program and can offer a check of up to $13 million, why was it such a big flop? And why does my accountant keep telling me that I don't qualify for this program? Well, all of my payroll service providers that watched all of my EIDL videos, you will fully understand the answer to this. It's not necessarily the accountant's fault. You see, accountants are hired for income tax purposes and not payroll tax purposes, because payroll is typically handled by a third party who can automate that daunting task of paying all the employees. Remember, in some cases, they have to pay by the hour, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever that frequency is, and then quarterly pay out all of those payroll taxes. And that process is just simply something that is not handled by most accountants. Now, why aren't the payroll companies offering such a service? And it's simply set because payroll companies are not set up to manage these special types of credits like ERC. Now, you can, of course, check with your accountant and your payroll service one more time to see if they do handle ERC. But if they don't worry, stay to the end of the video, because I found a service that will handle all of the heavy lifting for you. Now, let's talk for a moment about how this is calculated, because yes, it does add up very quickly. 2021 and 2022 are very different calculations, okay? So let's start with 2020. It's not very exciting, and it's part of the reason why this program was such a failure, because it was such a low credit and it wasn't accessible to everybody that nobody went after the credit, and it was simply forgotten about. But in 2021, they changed the entire program, expanding the opportunity and increasing the fund. Let's talk about 2020 first. 2020 pays a retroactive credit of 50% of gross wages paid to an employee. This is capped at $10,000 of gross wages. Let me explain. If you were to pay an employee $6,000 in 2020, you are eligible for 50% of $6,000, which is $3,000. But any wage that you paid over $10,000 in 2020 is 50% of $10,000, equaling $5,000. So you could receive a max credit of $5,000 per employee for the entire year of 2020. Not very exciting, but don't worry, I'm about to explain to you how exciting it gets in 2021. Because the rules changed in 2021. They expanded the eligibility and the credit. They expanded the eligibility so far that nearly every single small business owner out there with employees qualifies for the ERC. In 2021, eligible businesses can now receive 70% of gross wages paid to an employee. There is still a cap of $10,000, but this is expanded not for the entire year, but per quarters for quarters 1, quarters 2, and quarters 3 of 2021. So let me simplify this for you. If you paid an employee anything over $10,000, $10,000 remains the maximum that you're eligible to receive 70% of. So 70% of $10,000 is $7,000. You can claim this for Q1, and then again for Q2, and then again for Q3. You could multiply $7,000 times 3. That's $21,000. Now, for however many employees that you did that with and you carried through that retention, you can multiply that by the number of W-2 employees that you have. And remember, I said the average right now is totaling over $200,000 per small business out there, a check that is deposited directly into your bank account. No further questions. Wow, I'm revealing all of my biggest secrets in this video. Remember to become a subscriber and hit that like button. Turn on the bell notification so you can be notified of all future videos, especially those around ERC. And if you want me to go into more depth on anything that I'm talking about in this video, leave a comment down below. The best and fastest secret to growing wealth quickly is to bring others along with you. So share this with all of your friends and all of your family. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, so none of this is financial advice. Let's get back to the video. Now, let's talk about what it takes to qualify as a business for these credits. Your business must have between 1 and 500 W-2 employees. Your employment does not count as one W-2. You must have been in business on February 15th of 2020. And last, your business must certify that it suffered a revenue reduction or that your business was negatively impacted by the pandemic. Now, I think the second option here is the easiest way to qualify because it's written in black and white that examples of such are things like supply chain shortages, reduced hours of operation, lowered capacity, canceling meetings. These are all qualifying criteria that says that you have been negatively impacted by the pandemic. Now, if you want to go the path of revenue reductions, in 2020, your business must have suffered a minimum of 50% quarterly revenue reduction when it was compared to that same quarter of 2019. So if you chose Q2 of 2020 and there was a 50% or greater reduction from 2019 of Q2, that's the only way to qualify as a revenue reduction. In 2021, same thing, quarter over quarter. A small business must have suffered a minimum of 20% quarterly revenue reduction when compared to that same quarter of 2020. So if you had Q2 of 2021 and you had a 20% reduction from that of Q2 of 2020, you also qualify. Now, as promised, I want to deliver you a no-hassle approach to receiving your ERC credits because during the EIDL process, when many small businesses reached out to me, the most frequent question that they asked was, can you manage this entire application process for me? Because it is stressing me out and I'm trying to manage my business. This is why companies hire payroll services, but we know most payroll services are not managing this process. Well, I found a service who will actually manage the whole entire ERC process. You can use their automated calculator to see if you qualify for credits, and they will manage the paperwork, application process, calculate the maximum return that you're eligible for. They will be the go-between between you and the IRS. Now, I've trusted this service to work with my business, my clients, my students, and my fellow business owners that are within my personal network because they have developed an algorithm that maximizes the results to get you the maximum amount of funds that your business qualifies for. Now, it is absolutely free to apply with this service, but if you decide to go with this service, they will charge you a calculated fee as a percentage of the eligible return. Now, if you wish to go with the service that I've discovered, simply go to the description and you could find a link to their website, or you could find it pinned in the top comment. Once you click on the link, you'll notice it brings you to this section where it says begin qualifying. Go ahead and click begin qualifying, and it will begin to ask you a series of qualifying questions like, did you pay any W-2 wages in 2020 or 2021? It will then lay out for you the two options for either revenue reduction or negatively impacted for your business. And as you can see, after answering the questions, it will quickly give you back an estimate of your 2020 credits and your 2021 estimate credits per quarter. So you can see in 2020, a credit estimated at $40,000. And then here in 2021, where it really adds up per quarter, $96,250. That's incredible. If you multiply that by 3 quarters, that's approximately $340-ish thousand total in credits that are due back to my small business. Now, from here, you'll get a link that's sent directly to your email. I used a test Gmail here. So now, once you click that link inside your email, it will give you 2 options to upload your documents. There's a recommended option, option 1, which is to link the service with your payroll company's service, your payroll provider service, because that's the fastest way to transfer all of the documents that are being requested. And method number 2 is a manual approach. If you decide to go with the manual approach, you will need to provide the service with quarterly 941s for all quarters from Q1 of 2020 through Q3 of 2021. You will also need to have detailed payroll reports. These are from March 13th, 2020 through September 30th of 2021, and it must include payments, deductions, contributions, and taxes for each paycheck for every employee through those dates. You can see now why your accountant doesn't necessarily want to process this request for you, because it's a very daunting task. Now, there are 2 final points that I want to make here, because one of them you may still need your accountant to be involved in. This is not taxable, so to avoid double dipping, you have to reduce the deductible wages expensed by the amount of the credit, right? So for that cap of $10,000, if you paid an employee $40,000, you would reduce that by $10,000, and you could only write off that $30,000 worth of payroll expenses to avoid that double dip. The last important note is we have to process this through the IRS, and right now the timing of that is averaging at 16 weeks to get it processed. So I urge you to get in line now and apply immediately, because EIDL has ended, PPP has also ended, and ERC is becoming more popular because there's more free stimulus money still available out there. So get yourself in the queue as soon as possible, because that 16-week average could extend as we find more eligible applicants and the popularity of ERC begins to grow. I want to thank you all for joining me for another video today. And remember, I'm the guy who teaches you how you earn money while you're sleeping passively through short-term rentals and Airbnbs. So if you're starting an Airbnb short-term rental and you need my help, join my email list that's found in the description. I just launched a new Master Short-Term Rental Accelerator course that comes with weekly coaching to ensure that you are staying focused on your financial investments and that you accelerate the process to reaching $1 million in annual revenue as quick as possible. To learn more about that, join my email list and I'll be happy to send you all of the necessary details. If you'd like to set up one-on-one coaching with me, you could also find me through the description. I hope you all get out and take these actions today so you have a better and brighter future for tomorrow. I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Bye for now.